Live scraps, 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 scrap live. That was like a complete rip-off of Wayne's World, but anyway. Can you believe I just improvised that? Like just wow. Like I just completely made that up on the spot. Like wow. God, I'm such a triple threat. I'm hot, I'm funny, I can sing. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. I love me. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to Life Scraps. I have a new microphone. Can you hear it? Can you hear the good sound quality? We're upping it a notch this week, bringing you a good microphone, good audio for your little eardrums. Don't want your eardrums bloating. Just the beautiful sultry sounds of Mickey in your ears today. I'm Mickey Byrne. This is Life Scraps, if I haven't said that already. Welcome to the podcast, episode 2. God, I had so much fun recording the one last week. Oh, I should have prepared something though, because it was really fucking ranty. There was a lot of ums and ahs, because I really had no idea what I was going to talk about, but it was so fun. And yeah, I want maybe I'm gonna try and like do this weekly for a little while and see how we go. So, yeah, keep writing in. Let me know what you want to be called. Do you want to be called Scrappies, Scrapsters, Mickey's Minions? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. You're the ones who are going to have to wear the merch, right? So let me know what you want to wear on the merch, what you want the merch to say, and what you want to be known as, and then that's what we'll call you. Anyway, Scrapsters, welcome back to episode 2. It is the end of November, which is fucking wild. We're like a month out till Christmas and New Year's. Also, like, it's not even December. Like, Christmas is getting earlier and earlier every year. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, I'm a bit of a Grinch, like something you need to know about me. The way that I'm not even not a Grinch, but like, hate a Christmas Carol, hate it. Um, I'm just like a meh. I'm like meh about Christmas, I'm meh about New Year's, I'm meh about birthdays. Um, Even if you're like my best friend, I probably won't remember your birthday. I really couldn't give a fuck about dates. Like, let's just celebrate every day. Why do we only need to have joy in December and then we go into like the most miserable month of the year, January? Why don't you just keep your Christmas lights up until the end of February and then we get to just like smoothly transition into spring? Why does it have to be joy, joy, merry, merry, and then like self-inflicted depression and misery for 2 months before we get to be joy, joy, happy, happy again? It's so weird. Um, and yeah, look, I'm not religious at all. Fun thing you need to know about me. I mean, we did have to study religion. I didn't go to a religious school, but Mum was, and I think I really respect her for this. She always told us that if we wanted to have presents from Santa Claus, we needed to study religion at school so that we understood the tradition of the holiday and like how what it's meant to our society growing up in Australia. So, I studied them all, Baha'i, all the versions of Christianity, but we weren't practicing it all. Like when I came out to my mum, it's like, Mum, I'm gay. She was like, Oh, honey, that's okay. I thought you were going to tell me you were Catholic. Um, love her for that. Hi Mom, if you're listening. So yeah, so anyway, holiday spirit is in full cheer. And yeah, I'm not huge on Christmas. We have a small family and like we sit around the table, we buy our own presents and then we sit around the table and we give each other the invoices and we transfer each other the amount that we owe each other. That's how Christmas works in my family. Um, Anywho, episode 2, episode 2, episode 2, episode 2. What's been on for me this week? Oh, sorry, if you're German and you're still listening, thank you for coming back. I do love you. I do respect you. You are very welcome here. Um, yeah, your country's just insane. But you are welcome. You're totally welcome. You're totally welcome. I've had a really fun week. I realized just when I sat down just now that was talking about like I was going to do a fast. Well, I completely forgot to do the fast. I just ended up eating like every day, as you do, as a normal human does. And so maybe I'll do it next week. But I'm also strength training. And so, it's a hard balance because I already like borderline don't eat enough food for the amount of activity that I do, now that also that I'm teaching Pilates and I'm just on my feet a lot. But plus I exercise like minimum 2 hours up to 4 hours a day. So yeah, fasting is a good idea, but it is also hard just with my training and stuff and yada yada yada. Anyway, I realized I'd said it here and then I forgot to do it. But I've had a really fun week, actually. It's been really fun. I did one of the hardest things I have done all year this week, which was to close my Portuguese bank account with Millennium. Um, it was like one of the hardest things I've done all year. Um, Oh my God, it took 5 weeks. It took seven people, and that's only the people that I was in contact with. Like, there was no money in this account, right? Nothing there. It took 5 weeks and seven people via email, via telephone, and then I still had to go in store, and then I still had to talk to two different people in the store. And those are just the people that I spoke to. Who knows how many other people that were there behind the scenes? Like, seven. Like that, like we could have started a rowing team, Like I've been to weddings with less people than that. Like that is insane. I was so elated when I once I did it that I posted a video and put it on Instagram, which is now my most viewed piece of content I've ever made, which I just think is quite frankly insulting. But glad that you're all here for it. And the thing is like, okay. Trying to close a bank account in the rest of the world, if it's difficult, it's because they probably want to keep taking money from you. Like that's just part of the game. Whereas in Portugal, it just feels like it's actually just not that. It's just inefficiency. Like it's just like the whole system is so broken that actually no one knows. And that they're really lovely. Everyone that you speak to is really lovely. They're just like this, they're apologetic. They're like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. They're just as baffled as I am. Like it's not a Portuguese thing. It's not a Portuguese people thing because they're also lovely. It's like a bureaucracy thing. It's the fucking European bureaucracy, which is like insane and just like no one has access to anything and like they've separated the finance department from everyone else and no one really understands what the fuck is going on and everyone's just getting fucked basically. Like I was paying 15 fucking euros for this account, which they set me up with when I first moved to Portugal. And I knew it was going to be a fucking headache to close it. It's like a saga. It's like the next Lord of the Rings, honestly. Like this could be like a three-part trilogy, just me telling you the effort that it took to close this account. Um, and anyway, like it's not like a Portuguese culture thing. And I think like the funny thing is like because I put this video and I put these ridiculous hashtags, but I've been getting these like likes from like Portuguese people I don't even know. Which I think is hilarious. And like one and I was talking about it with one person and they were like, well, that's just like how we are. And I'm like, no, that's not how you are. That's like saying like you have a hole in your ceiling and like you like being like it's raining and you just like being wet in your living room because the rain's coming in through the hole in the ceiling. Like that's just who we are. Like we just like to be wet in our living room. We really like a 24/7 wet look. It's like, no, that's not who you are. You just have a fucking hole in your ceiling. Fix the fucking hole. Like I had an ex, and he had some really strange teeth brushing habits and he'd brush his teeth like really aggressively, like his gums would be bleeding. He'd have his mouth open while he brushed his teeth. So there's like toothpaste and blood going everywhere. Like the mirror is splattered in like pink colored toothpaste. It's like running down his chin, all over his shirt. He had like, because his father, His father would never throw out the toothpaste tube when it was empty. Like he would scrape every last morsel of toothpaste out of the thing rather than just going buying a new thing of toothpaste. And he would do that. Like he'd bring the knife in the bathroom and he's there like scraping every last inch of toothpaste out of the tube. And I'm like, babe, like, first of all, close your mouth. Second of all, just buy some new fucking toothpaste. It's like it's on special at Coles. It's like $6, like not even $5 or something. And he's like, he's like got his mouth open. He's like, this is who I am. Toothpaste flying everywhere. I'm like, babe, that's not who you are. This is just like some weird like generational shit that you've like inherited from your father and like some weird habits you have about brushing your teeth. It's not who you are though. It's not who you are. So to that person who was like, this is just who we are, it's like, no, no, this is fucking bureaucracy. Learn the fucking difference. Um, Anyway, so yeah, I was feeling super happy about that. Super, super happy to close that bank account. It was like the highlight of the week for me, or one of my highlight account. But also, I'll just say it's not just Portugal either, because I had a friend and she was trying to close an account in France. But she lives in Australia. She's French, but she lives in Australia. And she had to to hand sign a document. And she was saying the same thing. Like she's like, fuck, like I have to get out my quill and my family insignia to like hand sign this document and then like post it back to France because like nothing can be done via email. It's like the bank's like, excuse me, madam, we're still waiting for your document. And she's like, well, your pigeon keeps getting eaten by magpies. It's just like so ridiculous. It's called electronics, people. It's called electronic ma mail. That's what it means, email. Yeah. And you know what? You know who I'm gonna blame in all of this is men. I blame men because they're the ones who run all the bureaucracy. They're the ones who run all the banks. But men, you also invented all the electronics. I mean, correction, you didn't, but you just took credit for it. But like, fuck, like you know how to like hack a computer in 5 seconds. You know how to get to like level 100 wood chopping in 2 days, or like in World of Warcraft where the glitches are, and you can like level up to 80 in 5 seconds, and like you can do all this fucking shit, but you can't figure out how to legitimize electronic signing. Man, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, if the banks and the bureaucracy was run by women, we would not have a problem here, you know? Everything would run smoothly and then everyone would still be home for 5 o'clock. Anyway, so that was probably like the most kind of adrenaline inducing part of my week, which is pretty sad if you want to look at it in one way, I suppose. But it's literally been like nearly 3 years coming. And you know why in the end, okay, this is also funny. Do you know why this is gonna be a rant about Portuguese banks the whole episode. But you know why the reason why I couldn't close that account is because I had two cards linked to that account. I have just like my normal debit card, which you get when you like open an account. And then when they opened the account, they also set me up with a prepaid card. A prepaid card, like one that you have to like top up. Like it's like 2007. Like it's like going to Myanmar for the first time in 2010 and like there's no electricity there. I mean there's no like internet there still and like what the fuck? Why have you set me up with that in 2022? Anyway, the reason they couldn't close the account was because there was €1 and like 9 cents on that prepaid card. But the first six people couldn't figure that out to tell me that, um, which is why it kept getting passed along. And like, just don't give me a prepaid card. I don't need a prepaid card. It's not 2005. Like, we don't need that. And also, there's no way to move the money off that card either. So, like, you've created this shitstorm for yourself. You've completely created this motherfucking shitstorm. Anyway, I think that's just like so hilarious and ridiculous. Like, uh, Anyway, I love you, Portugal. I do. Like you're so much better than Australia. Um, like Australia, it's all like neat and organized and tidy and shit, but like it has its own problems. Um, like you can get fined just for jaywalking in Australia, like hundreds of dollars. And like there's actually policemen walking around the CBD actually fining people for crossing the road when the walking light isn't green. Like they're just like too much fucking time. They just got way too much time in that country. It's absolutely insane. Like here, first of all, that would never happen here. Second of all, like I've seen policemen having beers, like they've come into the bar on their shift in their uniform in Biro Alto to have a beer, to have an Imperial, and then go back to work. Like it's just like it wouldn't happen here. And then, like the fine would be that'd be like, go, I don't know, go have like a pastel de bacalhau and like you're not allowed to drink Superbot, you're going to have to drink Sagres. That was like such a Portuguese joke. So if you're not Portuguese, you wouldn't get it. But yeah. Anyway, what else has been going on with my world? This week, oh yeah, this week I also started watching, I wanted something just like stupid to watch. I'm not a big TV person, but my friend's given me their HBO login, which is like unbelievable. It's so exciting to because I don't have Netflix, don't have Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever all of these things are. Because I don't really like watching TV. Like the writing is just so boring, so predictable. And so, I was watching the greatest piece of writing that's come out on television in the last 22 years, which is And Just Like That, season 1 to 3. Um, that was obviously a joke. It's like one of the worst written shows maybe ever. And it's so cringe, but it is also so like I couldn't take my eyes off it. It's so funny. First of all, can we just talk about Asian? Like, oh my God, Aiden is so cringe. He's like, he makes, he is like the shower curtain touching you accidentally in the shower. Like, that is the feeling that I get every time Aiden comes on screen. He's just so ew. He's just ew. And then they keep putting him in tidy whities. I'm like, they did that in Sex and the City and it wasn't hot then. And like, they do it again now. And I'm like, it's definitely not got better. Like, oh my God, he's so disgusting. I don't know how anyone finds him attractive. And also, he's so just like black and white, boring, boring as batshit American. Hi, Carrie. Hi. Hi, P. Hi, Carrie. Hi, P. Hi, Carrie. He's just so fucking basic. Like, so beige. So basic. And I also especially hate how he has like all these ultimatums. First of all, it's like Carrie smokes. He's like, do you smoke? Oh, well, we can't date. And then it's like, so she does something else, and he's like, "Oh well, no." And then like it just like that, he's like, "Oh well, I'm never entering your apartment ever." And like, well, like my son needs me. We're not allowed to ever talk to each other. Like he's so weirdly black and white in a really basic and like problematic way. What does anyone see in him? He's so ew. And like his arse just keeps getting saggier and saggier. And like, look, I'm all for men having a cry, but Asian having a cry is that was no. I just like that has like scarred my brain. I still see him having that weird cry. Ew, just everything about him is grotty. Like actually grotty. He's anyway. Enough about Aiden. What else do I want to talk about in that show? Firstly, I love season 3 and just like that because you realize that Carrie could never write. Like at one point, she uses a dash instead of a comma. Like she just like, how has this bitch released like 6 books by now? She's so shit. She's so fucking shit. Anyway, I tell you who is the best though is Charlotte. Like Charlotte went from the worst character in Sex and the City to being the motherfucking star of And Just Like That. I think it just like really works. The whole character, it just the whole character line, it really works. Like we all know a Charlotte from like our friend's mum, or like someone at school, their mum is Charlotte. Like she's just so, yeah, she kind of is like she embodies something real. She has like this essence, whereas all the other characters were trying too hard. It's like that they wanted to have every minority group included. Basically, the whole show is about white women being uncomfortable with like queer people being uncomfortable with like it's like black people have now made money and white women are like trying to adjust. It's like that's kind of like the undercurrent for the whole show. It's just like white women being cringe. Um, which of course they are. Like we all knew, like it was never gonna go another way. Of course, those four characters, by the time they moved into 2020, they were going to be cringe. Like it was just gonna happen. But I don't know, this whole storyline is trying so hard, so hard. And there's, I think I counted four like genderqueer, non-binary, trans characters, which is pretty amazing. Like I suppose that in one sense is quote unquote groundbreaking. But I think this is like the issue with identity politics, right? Because I bet you they even sat around in a room somewhere going, what is something TV hasn't done? I know. It's only had three non-binary people. Let's up it. Let's do worlds first. Let's do four. That way we're being really progressive. And you know, of course, some of it is like rock. I think like that whole storyline, that's cute and that's informative and useful being there. But I mean, Shay is shit. Like the Shay's character is so shit. She's so unfunny. Like so unfunny. She just who like did they not even hire? Are there no were none of the writers on the show comedians at all? Like she not a single thing she says is funny. And this is the other thing, and like you also hear this when you watch stand up in America. Like people laugh before the comedians even made a joke. And I just think that's really annoying. It's so annoying and like, oh, you're not actually here for the quality of the jokes. You're just here because this person is famous. And that's exactly what happens with the Shay storyline as well. She like gets up on the microphone and she's like, yo, what up? And everyone's like, cue laughter. And it's just like, this isn't, first of all, you haven't said a single good quality joke. Second of all, everyone's just laughing just because you're famous. Like, you're not actually a good comedian. And anyway, when you watch stand-up done in Australia or Ireland or England, it's not like that. Like, you have to earn laughter from the audience. You actually have to have a good joke and actually like deliver it and nail it, and then people will laugh. They're not just going to like woo girl you just because you walked on stage. Um, anyway, that's like a whole other side rant I could go about stand up in America. Anyway, I love the trans rabbi. I think she's my favorite character in the whole show. She's amazing. The teacher talking about IVF with her student, like with Miranda, who's her student after like the second day, is fucking so uncomfortable and weird. That's just so, so bizarre. Um, Anthony. Anthony bottoming was like the most uncomfortable scene I've ever watched ever. Obviously, I don't think that actor is gay. I don't know. The whole thing was, I don't think the actor is gay. The writing was terrible. Even the position they're having sex in, like, was terrible. Like, no one enjoys being fucked up the bum when you're lying on your side. That's like, no one enjoys that. Get on top or lie on your back or bend over into doggy. That's how you're gonna enjoy bottoming. Like, what the fuck? Um, oh, this the a cappella group in season three I thought was hilarious and like so unnecessary and unhinged, but like amazing as well. Anyway, the whole thing is just so cringe. Some of it is like cringe gold. A lot of it is just fucking cringe. Um, Anyway, the white women who wrote that really need to speak to their manager, I think, because it was a fucking train wreck. I'm not even gonna finish season three. I think I'm done. Now that I've like verbalized all my opinions here, I think I'm done. I don't think I need to watch the rest of it, particularly if Carrie is gonna like continue writing like an idiot, like a 5-year-old. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's been like fun, cute little thing to do this week. Just to have like a bit of a brain break. Because work's been busy, work's been really good. Coaching's been good this week. I just actually, yeah, I was just having a call with a client, one of the members of the pods, and just literally just now. And yeah, it was a good call. I mean, it was some calls that go really smoothly and like the whole coaching process just flows really easily. Others, it can be, of course, a little more clunky. And this was like a clunky call, which, I take responsibility for. But, what we were trying to figure out for my dear client is like, what? There's just this question that kept coming up for her, which is, what if I fail? What if I fail? What if I fail? What if I fail? And it took me a really long time to understand the subtext of what that question was trying to ask. Firstly, some questions just aren't good questions, as I told her. Like, some questions are better question than others. Let's just say that much. Like, I don't fully want to dismiss that voice because particularly when it's repetitive there, it is trying to communicate something. But sometimes it can be hard to figure out what is the subtext of what it's trying to communicate. And in this case, on the topic of burnout and of the topic of change, and I think why I want to bring it up now and bring it into the conversation here in case it's useful for any of you. Pardon me. I'm trying to see how I can explain this without giving too much context of what was going on with this person. Basically, the fear was, what if this doesn't work out? And then on the other side of this, I still hate my job. And I was like, yeah. That's why you first came to me. Like, this was always going to come up, looking at this. Um, and I think, it's really, I see a little bit of stuckness here. I mean, I'm having all these thoughts now because we only got to these realizations towards the end of the call and then I had to go. But like, there's this thing called the region beta paradox, which is basically that people suffer more from just okay problems, as opposed to really significant problems. Because when things are really significantly painful, we do something about that. We take action. However, when things are tolerably painful, which is many people's work scenarios, particularly if there's ambivalence there because work is also offering them stability and money and all these things, then people stick it out, um, even though it's causing them suffering because they don't want to be there. It's painful to them to be there. And I remember this with my corporate job. Like, it got to the point where I was just waking up with dreads and I was fortunate to be made redundant. Like someone else I mean, I was already making moves to go back to coaching. Anyway, I'd already decided, like, okay, writing's on the wall here. I need to leave. And then I think it was a blessing to be made redundant because the minute I was made redundant, I stopped waking up with dreads. Everything became more alive again. I felt so much more present. Um, every dollar I make now, I feel more like attached to. Like I've earned that money, like I know what I have done to earn that money. Ironically, I'm a better saver now, even though I make less money than I was. And there's a way where change, making that decision to leave the nest, even though when we recognize the nest is no longer working for us, can be really hard if there's not, if someone doesn't actively push you from the nest. If you need to make the decision to jump from that nest and you don't yet know where you're jumping, what you'll be jumping into. Like I think of my first man out, and I think in many ways I was really lucky there because my get out of jail free card or my escape was to go do a residency, an artist residency in Portugal. Um, but basically, what happened is like I was recognizing I was not happy at work. I was becoming cynical. I was working less than I had been, but I was no longer getting energy from work, which is another thing, right? Like for a lot of us who do work that we really love, it is really generative. It gives us a lot of energy and aliveness. Like even now teaching Pilates, it's like that is such a source, that's been such a positive source of joy and energy. Like teaching Pilates is the reason I had the energy and the wherewithal to go close that motherfucking Portuguese bank account after nearly 3 years, well, nearly 4 years. Um, like I wouldn't have done that if I had still been like working my 9 to 5. To be to put that really simply, it would never have happened. Anyway, but I think I was really lucky with my first burnout because I wanted to move towards something more creative. I wanted to move back towards writing, and there was like an organic reason for wanting to write, which was at the time, okay, this may be an overshare, but let's share it. But I was working on a novel because I had cheated on my ex-partner, and that was devastating to me. That was really, really, I mean, I devastating for him as well, I'm sure, in his own way, and maybe even more so for me because like he didn't see it coming. Um, but it was devastating. I can only speak to my experience, which is that it was devastating for me. Like it caused an absolute identity crisis because I never thought that I would do that to someone, particularly someone I loved, and I really did love him. And the story of why someone cheats is way more complicated than we allow it to be in society. There's so many layers there. Um, and for me, it it's a long conversation and it took, like 7 years to write the book which was essentially me trying to figure out why I had did that to someone that I loved, like what cheating was, what it had meant to me, what the relationship had meant to me, why I did what I did. And I say all that because as I was burning out, I was recognizing I had a lot of emotional wounding and emotional pain and guilt and shame from the way this relationship had ended. And I was writing again. I mean, I've always been a writer, but like really doubling down into it. And with that, I was also learning to dance. Like I had this whole kind of creative side blooming that was like a whole new identity outside of work. Um, and then getting the residency in Portugal was like kind of a get out of jail free card to go, okay, I now get to, here's the excuse to leave this work identity, this old identity, and jump into something new. And it was new in every way, like it was a residency there as a creative, as an artist. It was my first ever residency. It was on the other side of the world. Get to reinvent myself. I changed my name. I um, built entirely new friendship circles, new language, on and on and on and on and on. And yeah, of course, then you have to do the work of integrating the new with the old, and then there are some things that don't quite mix. It's like water and oil. And you do kind of then develop a little bit, well, for me at least, like a little bit of like split personality. Um, but I think we're all kind of living with that in terms of where our identities intersect and where maybe they're contradictory. more and more we all have to live with that. Also, being born one place, studying another place, living in another place, this feeling of never quite belonging or never quite fitting in or yeah, all this kind of stuff. I think this is not unique to me in any way, any shape or form. Um, but all that to say, like, I feel really blessed now that these thoughts are all coming to me now, based on that client call. Is like, I feel really blessed because pain pushes until vision pulls, right? And then, like, it's really hard. Yeah, as I said, it's really hard to make the decision to jump out of that nest when that nest is providing you money and comfort and stability, even though the air you're breathing there is toxic and you know that you're getting sick and that this is your opportunity to leave. It's hard to make the decision to jump by yourself unless someone pushes you, or you have a clear vision of where you're jumping to. And sometimes we don't. And we just need to make the jump and then we will figure out the rest. And I mean, there's been so many instances of this in my life where I was like, okay, all I know is I need to leave. Like this happened with a housemate, actually. I was just like, I need to leave. I will be okay. I'll figure it out. I'm going to leave immediately. And I packed up my stuff and immediately moved into a hotel. And immediately on the other side of that decision, on the other side of that free fall, was like so much calmness and clarity and confidence and presence and grace because I had just made the decision to back myself and I'd left the toxic air. And then all the resources and the skills that I wasn't sure that I had made themselves available to me because I was all of a sudden available to accept them. This has happened so many times in my life. So anyway, all this to say, if my pod people, if that's you out there, my PPs, my Mickey's minions, my scruffies, no, sorry, scruffies, no, scrappies. Um, Sometimes you just have to make the jump in free fall, and then you will figure out the rest in the air. I mean, the truth about life is that there is no ground. We're forever free falling. The bad news is we're forever free falling. We make relative ground, but it's all just still an illusion. See, this podcast is fucking deep. We have some lulls. We get really philosophical. We then, pay out the Germans a little bit and then, tidy it all up in a neat bow. Anywho. Um, I had an ass wax this week for my first time ever, which was interesting. I can't stop touching my bottom now. It's like smooth as a baby's bottom. Not that I support that. I'm not into baby's bottoms. That's not why I got it done. Um, but yeah, my skin's having a little bit of a reaction. I don't know if that's normal. If that's normal, please write in, let me know. Um, and yeah, it's hard to date in 2025. It's even hard to find tops in 2025. Okay, that's the real dilemma. It's like tops are an endangered species. Oh my God. Like I live in Peña de Francia and it should just be renamed to Peña de Bottoms. Like there's like one top for the whole village. And tops are greedy. I mean, bottoms are greedy. They can go through like three or four tops in a night. Like there's not enough tops for everyone. It's fucking insane. And I changed I was briefly in my top era for a while, and I changed my grinder status to top. I've never been so popular, honestly. It's so easy to be a top. It's practically community service. Like it's at this point it's practically community service. But there's not enough of us. There's not enough tops to go around, honestly. Like we're gonna have to recruit the lesbians again. Like the lesbians with their strap-ons are going to have to come and help our community once again. Like, and the lesbians have done enough. Like, let's just let the lesbians stay at home and catch up on their woodwork. Like, Oh, like, cause I have a friend who loves like his kink is like converting tops into bottoms. I'm like, babe, like, no, you're not allowed to do this. This is not okay. Ah, like you hear, like I hear from some of my doctor friends, these like horror stories about gays coming into emergency because they have like, you know, I don't know, a piece of fruit stuck up their ass or like a traffic cone stuck up their ass. And I'm like, first of all, like whatever gets you off. But second of all, like the real crisis here is the top crisis. Like they probably live in an area where there are no tops, so they're turning to traffic cones. Like the way that we're going to save the traffic cones is by bringing back internalized homophobia so that we have more tops again. That's what we really need here. Oh, anyway, I'm going to be moving house soon, so maybe it's just this area and I'll have more luck somewhere else. I really do hope so. Um, and yeah, like while I'm on this rant, last little thing, I just want to have a quick rant about the quiz, which, I don't, we're already at 40 minutes. There's not enough time for me to rant everything I would say about the quiz. But like, how do I put this, like, constructively? Queers are so boring. Queers bore the shit out of me now. Like everyone is so fucking boring. It's all aesthetics without any depth. Like no one has an opinion anymore. And I'm not talking about all queers. I'm talking specifically about like the cis male queers. Um, and obviously the cis male gays, but like, we abandoned those years ago. The cis male queers are just as bad though. They're the same flavorless piece of fruit. Um, like, obviously some of us as queers, we have good queers. Like, as I already mentioned, the lesbians love the lesbians. And then there are like some of us as queers who really believe that, everyone's struggle is connected. No one is free until we're all free, which includes women, which includes trans people, which includes black people, which includes Palestinians. And then there are other queer people who are idiots. And, they believe that sending dick pics before a face pic is okay. Like, I just think as a community, the GHB has melted some of our brains, and like, it's all aesthetics now, but there's no depth there. I'm sick of all these queers just posting themselves looking hot. Like, okay, maybe that is on one hand. No, I don't even want to give it that. Because, this is like the discourse has become like, oh, well, it's revolutionary to think that you're hot. Oh, it's revolutionary to like go onto a dance floor. And I'm like, yeah, cool. It is partly like good for you. You feel good about yourself. Like, yes, dance is an incredible spiritual practice to feel free, to feel embodied, but it's not enough. And this is like all queer culture has become is like, let's throw another party. Here's just us all again looking hot. But it's kind of just like, I don't know. It's like, it's not enough. It's really not enough. Like, there needs to be more. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still like kilometers, miles, years ahead of the straights, right? Like, the straights are just like, do you know what because you know how like queer we define as, in a sense, I mean, there's many definitions, right? But one definition of queerness is in opposition to heteronormativity, or I'm not sure opposition is the right word, but I often think of queerness as spaciousness. Like it's like deconstruction. It is if it's a verb, it's deconstruction, it's de-identification, it's otherness, it's like the space outside of like a label or a container. And queerness is often described as like the outside space around heteronormativity. And like, so then the question is, okay, well, how do we define heteronormativity? And how I think we should define heteronormativity? Heteronormative people are those who identify as having less fun. That's all it is. That is literally all it is. They just identify as having less fun. That like that is it. That's heteronormativity wrapped up in a thing. They just hello. I identify as the kind of person who doesn't have as much fun, you know? And like obviously on one hand I love queers because like you've never gone to a party and been like, damn, the queers are here. This party is gonna be so much more lame. Like, no, you've never said that. You've never gone to a party and like, oh, the gays have arrived. This party is going to go downhill from here. This is going to be just like, I wish there were less gays so I could have more fun. Like, no one has ever said that ever, right? So, like, we're incomparable compared to the hets, right? Like a heteronormative nine is like a two in the queer world, you know, like we just have completely different we're on completely different scales. You know, I feel comfortable knowing that my standards for myself, I can walk into any room if there are straight people there, and I'm going to be in the top 10% of like people in that room. Like just because of like the standards that we help uphold ourselves as queer people is much higher. Anyway, this is me upholding a standard. Bitches, we've got motherfucking boring. We like there's no I was gonna I was gonna say there's no punk anymore, which is like ridiculous for me to say. I know nothing about punk culture, except punk writers who I love. Um, but there really isn't. It's all aesthetics. And like the thing is, everyone's aesthetic is the same. Aesthetic is the same. And it's all this is, I think, the slippery thing around like where capitalism and the world kind of intersects with desire is that we internalize what the world tells us to want, and then it feels like it's genuinely something we want. But everyone's aesthetic is the same. And the that book by that was translated by the Italian writer Perfection, this is exactly what he's talking about. You could be anywhere in the world. It's going to have the same apartment with the same layout, with the same Monstera plant that's like thriving in the corner of the room. Every like there is like there's like one aesthetic now that everyone strives for, and it's like so much of the queers that like pop up on my social media. I mean, and just like that I seem to, I mean, yeah, mainly social media I'm talking about. It's just like you're striving towards this perfect ideal, which is an empty thing. It's a very empty thing, and like no wonder you feel lonely. No wonder you feel lonely. Like that movement is not is completely away from yourself. It's completely away to something external, you know. Narcissism, by the way, if we take narcissism and we look at it, this is such a ranty episode. If you tune in for the next episode, like kudos to you, because this is a fucking rant. But anyway, I hope it's interesting. But narcissism, if you look at it from like the actual psychoanalytical point of view, we often think of it as an obsession with self, but it's not an obsession with self. It's an obsession with appearance, self appearance. It's self objectification. It's a negation of one's own subjectivity. It's all about the external. You lose the internal. And so, whilst it is an obsession with the self in the sense that it's an obsession with self appearance, it's all external, which is all about others. It's all about the question of narcissism is what will others think? Or what do they see? Or how am I perceived? It's nothing about the internal subjective experience of what it is to be human. And, you know, of course, we all have all a little bit of a narcissistic tendency that is just kind of like we're constantly measuring up and trying to take quantitative data from external things and measure it up against our own internal subjective experience. We're all doing that. But it's when you know, those dual places of learning no longer measure up, and then we lose sense of our own subjective experience and we rely on the external. That's what narcissism is. Anyway, God, you learn so much with me. I'm just so generous with my beautiful brain here. I do have more to talk about, but like, because I want to talk about this book as well that I'm reading called Empire of Normality. But we're already at 50 minutes, and maybe that's a little bit long. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna bring it in next week, so we'll start fresh, cause my coffee's nearly done. I need to go have some lunch, and then it is off to the gym for me. Anyway, Scruffies, thank you so much. Scruffies, why do I keep doing that? See? Social media, the apps have rotted my brain. I'm trying to like get out words and it's coming out as Scruff, which is like a gay dating cruising app. Ugh. Um, anyway, my beautiful Scrappies, my little Mickey minions. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I can talk about anything. Just let me know. Give me some topics. That could be really fun. Write in some topics to me, and then we will discuss that here on the podcast, real time. See what comes out of my mouth. And yeah, have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week in December.